today was to win hearts and minds nationally, as all of those conversations from the mayor's office will circulate around our community. Why do we want you? Because we are writing a letter from the executive of ADPAC, which will arrive with the mayor and his team on Tuesday after the bank holiday Monday. What is the ask within that letter? Number one, it is to chastise the mayor, who is a public servant, make no mistake. Who was derelict of his duty for the 2 million African Caribbean population in London. There were multiple kidnap attempts specifically aimed at African Caribbean children. A couple of successful kidnap attempts. One who escaped and was spoken to in a debrief, who said the house he escaped from was filled with children and something weird was happening and he was drugged. Now he's 10 years old. My son is 14 and he's a baby. How old are your children? And think about them being in that vulnerable position where we don't know if they're being sold on for sexual exploitation, for organ harvesting, or whatever the case may be. They're supposed to be at home with us. Or police are supposed to be the ones who are in a trusted position to act off intelligence. But what relationship does the African Caribbean community have by and large with the Metropolitan Police Force, who over-police traditionally the African Caribbean community, underserve us? So for us, it's a police force, it's not a police service. Our children are racially profiled. Even our grown men and women are racially profiled. We are treated in a wholly inappropriate way, as if we are a criminal ethnicity, and we are not. All communities have a minority criminal underbelly, including us. But we aren't policed in that way. We are policed to be contained. Well, herein lies the policy reform that we are looking for with the police when we actually sit down to have consultation. We do have a 10-page written recommendation for police reform, who was one of our consultants who served 30 years in the constabulary. He served on the National Black Police Association as president for 4 years. He currently happens to be a professor and criminologist teaching in university. He's extremely qualified to call the reforms. He is African Caribbean and he makes public videos saying that the police as an institution are institutionally racist, and nobody is better qualified than an African Caribbean retired officer who served for 30 years. We are not asking Cressida Dick, we are not asking Tony Saul, and we are not asking the mayor, because the mayor is one who likes to flip-flop. He would like to do exactly what the Conservatives do, but he has to be on the other side of that report that Tony Saul has, so now we're going to play ball. And now we're going to hold him to account. So what we want is the permanent creation of an African Caribbean liaison officer role in the mayor's office to shadow every London Assembly briefing that happens. So from the police through education, local authority to planning, whatever it is, we want a liaison officer in the room. We would like to create a position that pays 70 grand a year with an assistant position that pays 40 grand a year, so that nobody is struggling and we can have our brightest and best and most qualified in that room to liaise specifically and for the 2 million African Caribbean population who vote and pay taxes and get no representation for either our taxation or our votes. It's quid pro quo time. £110,000 for that permanent position to inform us as the African Caribbean community in their role as liaison officer exactly what is developing, going on and happening at all times. Full transparency, right? so that we can't remain an underdeveloped community when we're in the know at the embryonic stage of planning. Secondly, it's a two-way system, is for us to report the needs and requirements of the 2 million population via the grassroots organizations, professionals, and community advocates that we liaise with, so that the mayor's office is aware and each of those departments understands exactly how they can serve best and most effectively our community.